Hopi is typical of a female barn owl. She is at full size. She is full grown. This is as big as she's ever going to be.
What's that size?
This size, I would put her size at roughly 14 to 16 inches, head to tail. She has a wingspan, I'll share with you now, of approximately 2.5 feet. Her wings are long and narrow, as you notice. And in her chest, a off brown, a tan coloration in her chest, which to me denotes a female. If this were a male barn owl, he would be almost pure white.
Oh, okay.
The coloration under the wings, the white coloration under the wings, would be fluid throughout her body and chest as well. Her panel and her lower body cap down here would be typical of a male, all white. She's typical female. The spots on her chest vary with the animal. Some have a lot, some have none, some have a few. It's all different. I think it's interesting to note with owls, this is a little fascinating fact for folks. Birds typically have a toe pattern where 3 go forward and 1 goes backward. That's the #1 most common toe pattern in birds. 3 forward, 1 backward. Mm-hmm. With owls and woodpeckers, I'll just use those 2 bird groups. Owls and woodpeckers, the typical toe pattern is 2 forward, 2 back. It's the second most common toe pattern with birds. Although, as you can see, they can swing their outer toe around forwards or backwards as they are so inclined. The facial disc is designed to channel sound, almost like a radar dish, to the ears. There are channels that pick up the sound waves and then direct it to the ear. This facial disc is typical of a lot of owls, of course, all owls that I know of, that I can think of, mm-hmm. and is to collect sound. They fly and they sweep their heads from side to side. One ear picks up higher tones and pitches than the other, so they can actually triangulate and narrow in on their prey source, but almost entirely by hearing. They don't have to see their prey. You do have to have, as I mentioned, to even maintain one for special purposes, be it a falconry license or be it an education license. To maintain a bird for special purposes, you have to be able to prove you know a lot about this animal and that you have experience over a period of time working with this type of animal. You have to apply to and be granted permission from the government agencies that so dictate policy and procedure. You have to be able to provide proper enclosure size. You have to know those minimums and maximums. You have to know a lot about their diet, their diseases, their biology. You have to have veterinary care available at your fingertips. They do not make good pets. This is not a pet, I should say, for our visiting public, our reading public. This is a wild animal still today that has been tamed down to accept people. It has been what we call manned. In my language of falconry, that's M-A-N-N-E-D, manned. Getting them used to will man, if you will. But manning is the art of, getting the animal accustomed to people and then working with you to trust you. She trusts me to do this, although you see her biting me. She trusts me to do this. I've been doing this to her since she was a baby. Other people cannot do this. People have been attacked by Hopi. My wife, namely one, nailed right between the eyes. Man, Hopi nailed her. You turn your back on this animal and then look back around, whammo, you're gonna get it. The feet are very strong and powerful in a lot of birds of prey. Their talons, not claws or nails, but their talons are extremely sharp and pointed. And the strength in these animals comes in their feet, not so much their beak like a parrot. 2, you cannot have a wild animal and then take vacation to Disney World for a couple of days at a time or a week or go on vacation. Who's going to take care of your owl for you? You have to have other trained specialists, people who are licensed to be able to take care of your owl or owls or hawks or falcons or turkey vultures while you're gone. For some, it is their entire life. You know, when you have 9 snakes, tarantulas, black widows, brown widows, opossums, hawks, turkey vultures, all these animals, dogs and cats alone, you have to have somebody responsible enough that you know that loves the animals and is willing to spend the appropriate time to exercise them as well. Usually we bring them out on Saturdays, every Saturday at 1 o'clock to educate the public on barn owls.
Okay,
so yeah, every Saturday she comes out. Yep. If she's not out doing educational programming in school, she's resting in her enclosure for when that does happen. It's important to note too that we just don't take the animals out because it's Saturday, and we have to first engage the animal, see if it even wants to come out. If the animal shows us signs that is uncomfortable or distressed in any way, we will always put the animal first, Imee. It's important to mention that we will always put the animal first. We will always respect the animal's needs and wants. Sometimes before we have, before the visiting public, we just take rain checks. We bring out a different animal. If we have plans to take Hopi out and she was panting or baiting around and we couldn't grab her because she was flying around, we go, okay, you don't want to come out today, and we'll just grab something else. We'll grab maybe the great horned owl, or maybe we'll grab the kestrel or something different.